who is present and standing to my right.
Thank you. And your name, please, sir.
Mr. Samuel Lugano, Your Honor.
Okay, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court. And the court will note that this is adjourned from last week because Mr. Simon had a matter in the Court of Appeals he had to get to. The court will also note that Mr. Simon answered the phone while we were on the record. Counsel, that is not appropriate nor acceptable in this court, whether you're on Zoom, in person, or otherwise. When you're on Zoom, you're still in court. You can't answer a phone in the courtroom. Don't do it on Zoom.
Understood, Your Honor. It was from the Court of Appeals. They were looking for me, and but frankly, they wanted to know why I had not yet zoomed in, and I apologize for taking the call, but it was necessary for me to let them know that I would be there shortly.
Counsel, we were on the record in your case. If you would have been standing in front of me, would you have answered the phone?
No.
No. Zoom is a privilege and an accommodation this court affords to individuals. It doesn't mean that it's any less of a decorum or professionalism if somebody's on court on Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor. I did mute the Zoom, and perhaps I should have called them back, but it was kind of an emergency. But I do apologize to Your Honor for that.
The court will also note that the court is in receipt of an email that was sent in on Tuesday, December 2nd at 11:28 a.m., about an hour and a half after we had gone off the record on your matter. And this appears to be from your client's wife, from her work email. And I wanted to go through and clarify a couple of things in the email. I don't know if you read the email, counsel, or not. But she references, she says, just before he was released, I received a phone call from one of your officers. I want to clarify. The court does not have its own police officers. The officer that your client's wife may be referencing is from the City of Wyandotte Police Department, not from this court. So I wanted to clarify that. It's not one of this court's officers. And then I'm not sure. Your client's wife also references it was later reduced as a misdemeanor. However, should have never been that in the first place, apparently referring to a felony case. I don't know what it should have not been, what have you, when it was charged. And then also, your client's wife indicated again that she wants me to take into consideration that this was a wrongful initial charge. I don't know if it was a wrongful initial charge or not. So, because your client, based upon what was placed on the record, had a weapon, a gun in the vehicle, and it was concealed. So I don't know what your client's wife is referencing when she says not an appropriate charge or the wrong charge to begin with. So, counsel, what else would you like this court to know?
Yes, Your Honor, she did show me that on her phone this morning. I noticed quite lengthy the email, and I did take a look at it, and it is consistent with what she told me. I certainly not verified any of that information, which was just presented to me this morning. I understand also that there may have been some other letters sent to the court, which I've also not seen, perhaps from employers, indicating that Mr. Lugano is a good worker. He is working a couple of jobs. He's a certified mechanic and a resident of I believe the city of Wyandotte. He is married. His wife is present. Judge, I know that the recommendation is incarceration. Mr. Lugano, he's very remorseful for his actions. As he explained last week, this happened inadvertently. He was gathering all of his things from his workplace in Detroit and bringing them home, and the gun was in there, part of that property, and it was placed in the back seat of his car. It was in a backpack. And while it did violate the law, I don't think that it was done with any criminal intent. Your Honor, incarceration would be devastating to my client and to his family. He would lose his job, he would lose his house, he would lose his family, he would lose everything. I know that this is a serious offense and the court is rightly concerned. And there is a history, and the court is aware of Mr. Lumina's history, personally, not just through the reports, but having presided over a couple of those matters in this very courtroom. We are asking the court to consider the fact that he served 4 days already, that it is not an assault offense. He knows that the weapon will be forfeited by law. He knows that there are certain mandatory and discretionary fines and costs. And we ask the court to allow him to remain out of the confines of the jail system so that he may continue to support his family, so that he may continue to be a productive member of this community. And Judge, he is truly remorseful, and we believe that a disposition of the nature which I have indicated would probably be in the interest of justice.
So, counsel, did your client disclose to the officer that he had a gun in his vehicle?
Again, as he indicated last week, he had not even realized that he had placed the gun in the backpack. He had gathered all the property. The gun was part of that stuff that he just threw in the back of his car. That he was driving home. He was pulled over, I guess, because of a tint on the windshield. So
Okay, so the answer to my question then is no. He did not disclose to the officer that he had a gun in the vehicle.
That's correct.
And what I'm hearing is that you all want this court to take into account and consideration that your client absentmindedly had this gun in his possession. He didn't intentionally have the gun in his possession. That's even more problematic, quite frankly. That tells me that your client is not even a responsible enough person to have possession of a gun. If he doesn't even know he has the gun in his backpack, if he doesn't even know he has it in his property, how is that a responsible gun owner? Which your client isn't even allowed to have possession of to begin with.
Well, he's not allowed to carry it in a motor vehicle, but I don't believe that he's disallowed from owning well, at this point, yes, but not at the time, from owning or possessing a handgun. It just was not allowed to be possessed in a motor vehicle unless, of course,
Correct.
it was locked up and safely secured in an unreachable portion of that vehicle.
Correct, which it was not.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct. And your client previously had a reckless use of a firearm charge as well in this court. And now here we are with another gun offense. I'm not discounting the reason why your client feels the need to carry a gun. What this court is tasked with is protecting the community, protecting the officer that approaches a vehicle at a traffic stop. Your client had an opportunity to tell the officer that there was a gun in the vehicle, in his bag. He just left work. He knew it was in the bag. He carries it on a regular basis, illegally concealed. Right? Isn't that what you said last time?
I don't carry a gun. My wife will even tell you the thing was so isolated is I do not carry a gun. I don't. Other than that particular day, it was early in the morning, late night, if you want to call it. Work hard. But although Saturday, I was going to go on vacation with my family. I was just thinking fast, move my tools out. I'm going on vacation for a couple of days. I do not carry a weapon. I do not carry a gun. The gun was brand new, never been shot. Brand spanking new, never been.
Well, why,
It was in all my tools. Before going on vacation, I'm just moving everything real quick because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to come home. We have to pack. We have to leave for vacation. I was just doing stuff in the car. When the officer opens the door, my whole car is just tools and so much stuff in. And I'm not sitting here justifying this. I am not by any way, shape, or form justifying this. If it was wrong, it's a crime. And I admit that in front of this court, it's a crime. But it was isolated. It wasn't meant. I do not carry a gun. Other than this day, that gun stays in my toolbox. I don't.
why is it in your toolbox? You use your
Because of
toolbox.
vacation. And I don't even work there every day. That toolbox doesn't, I only probably work there once a month, maybe. And I keep it in my toolbox because when I talked to my lawyer, I said, this airport in West Warren, my car got shot almost 20 times down the street on Lawton and Warren.
I understand that, but sir, you cannot have a firearm in your possession that's concealed. You do not have a CPL permit.
I learned the hard way.
CPL, concealed pistol license.
This is one of the things that I regret the most.
So having it in your toolbox is concealed.
I thought because it's private property, it could be in my toolbox in the building. I'm the only mechanic. So I was just leaving it in my toolbox for safety. I mean, I work in West Warren, a lot happens over there. But I still have to support my family. And she can tell you, I work. I'm a mobile mechanic. I literally, that's all I do is work. I support the community. I shovel snow. I fix people's cars for free. I take care of the elderly. I volunteer. I feed the hungry.
Sir, I can understand that, right? And that's much appreciated. However, you had this firearm in your vehicle, in your possession,
Yes, ma'am.
concealed,
Yes, ma'am.
in violation of the law.
Yes, ma'am.
Again,
I never had a concealed weapon before. This was.
no, before it was recklessly
Yeah, but that was-
recklessly
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
recklessly discharged. That was 4 years ago.
It was never discharged. There was no.
I'm sorry, recklessly used. What?
And that was
Recklessly
me
used.
because I try not to go to trial with my son, who is now 21.
Yeah.
I say.
Then you had a disorderly conduct just last year.
Yes. And that also had to do with the police showing up. And like I said, in my wife's letter states, all this stems from me and my son. The first incident, I did not want to go to trial.
Sir,
All this-
sir, I understand all that.
Yeah,
We don't have to rehash all, we don't have to rehash all
Yeah,
that.
we have the best relationship that we've had now. And
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
yeah, we have, and you have a lot to do with that, Your Honor. The first time you sentenced me, it changed my life. I went home a different man. I looked at my son and I told him I love him, no matter what. I have been, since the last time me and you have been in this room, I have done so much to better myself and others. And I'm still looking forward. Whatever the punishment is, whatever the court does, I will accept it. It's not going to change me as a person. It's not going to change me as a God-fearing man. It's not going to change me as a man of obeying the law. I will still be a stand-up individual. I will still respect you in this court, regardless of the outcome. And I thank you, Your Honor. I thank you because you did change my life the first time I came here. You made my relationship with my family stronger and better. I was on the verge of losing my whole family before I met you last time. And now the things are so good. I almost lost my family. After I saw you, I had to make a lot of changes in my life. A lot. And I did. Eating habits. I don't have any friends. Everybody off. My wife will tell you. Everybody. I go home to her and my children and I dog. That's it. You changed my life the first time you sentenced me because I read this.
There's tissue right underneath there, sir.
I realized that the law is the law. You're doing your job, but the most important thing, like you said, is to protect this society, is to protect the community. And I appreciate it, and I respect that. I appreciate it, I respect that, and I respect everything you do, and everything you do for the community. I appreciate it, and that's all I have to say. And I love my family. I love what I do. I have a passion for cars. I love what I do. Every day I wake up to do this. Every day I live for cars and my family. That's it.
All right, here's what this court's going to do. The court finds after hearing from counsel, hearing from Mr. Jaguna, reviewing the report, the recommendation, the communication from Mr. Jaguna's wife, that there's not reasonable grounds to depart by MCL 769.5. The court's going to order 90 days jail. I'm going to have you serve 14 days, credit for 4 days, suspend 72 days. I'm going to give you an opportunity to arrange with work days off. So you don't have to report until January. So you'll be serving 10 days of that 90 days jail. The rest of that is suspended, meaning that as long as you don't get into any other trouble, you won't have to serve any more jail time. No possession of firearms. And we can, I'll have you report. What I'm going to do, sir, so that it doesn't affect your work as much, I'm going to have you, my staff's probably going to kill me for this, but I'm going to have you, I'm going to have you serve those days separately. So what I mean by that is I'm going to have you report January 9th to serve 4 days. So what they used to do before COVID was work release, where you could still go to work and you just go sleep back at the jail. They don't do that anymore. Then I will have you report February 6th to serve 4 days. And then I'm going to have you serve the balance of the balance of 2 days. Report March 6th for the final 2 days. Okay?
That would be at the Wyandotte City Jail?
No. So you'll get direction from probation as to where to report, because that'd be the Wayne County Jail. So, and sir, when you report on those Fridays, you don't have to report until 6 p.m. So you can still work on that Friday. All right? And so that's day 1. Then it's Saturday, Sunday, and then you're released early Monday morning so you can still go to work. That's day 4. So I'm giving you much accommodations, not having you to report until January, and allowing you to serve those one weekend a month, so to speak, so it doesn't affect your employment as much. And then I'm suspending the balance of the 72 days. And then I'm going to waive your fine. I'm going to indicate a $200 fine, $100 screening assessment fee, cost of prosecution $300, crime victim assessment fee of $75, justice system assessment fee of $50. That's $725. We'll apply your bond and we'll waive the rest. Okay? All right. Good luck to you, sir. Please have a seat in probation. Somebody will be with you shortly with that, okay?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's all, folks.